What does it mean to be Mexican? Is it the vibrant culture, the world-renowned cuisine, the rich history that stretches back through millennia? It's all of that, and so much more. But what if we could look even deeper? What if the story of Mexico, in all its complexity and beauty, was written not just in history books, but in our very cells? Let's journey into the heart of Mexican identity, exploring a genetic landscape that is one of the most diverse and fascinating on Earth. We'll unravel a story of ancient empires, transatlantic voyages, and the profound mixing of peoples that created the vibrant tapestry we see today. This isn't just a story about science. It's the story of millions, encoded in the language of DNA. For a long time, both within and outside of Mexico, there has been a tendency to simplify. If you or someone you know has Mexican DNA, subscribe to the channel. The terms Mexican or Latino are often used as monolithic labels, suggesting a single, homogeneous group. But modern science has shattered that myth. A landmark 2014 study, led by researchers at Stanford University, UCSF, and the Mexican National Institute of Genomic Medicine, revealed a truth that had been hiding in plain sight. Mexico is a nation of staggering genetic diversity. The researchers analyzed the genomes of individuals from both indigenous and mixed ancestry, or mestizo, populations across the country. What they found was astonishing. The genetic differences between some of Mexico's native groups were found to be as vast as the differences between modern Europeans and East Asians. Let that sink in for a moment. Two indigenous communities, separated by geography within the same country, can be more genetically distinct from each other than a person from France is from a person in China. As the study's authors put it, we're moving beyond blanket definitions like Mexican or Latino. The research confirmed that Mexico is not a melting pot where all ingredients are blended into one, but rather a breathtaking mosaic where each piece retains its own unique color and shape while contributing to a magnificent whole. So, what are the primary colors of this genetic mosaic? The vast majority of Mexicans, over 90%, identify as mestizo, a term that itself means mixed. This mixing, or mestizaje, is a story of three continents converging. The DNA of the average Mexican is a complex blend of three main ancestral roots: indigenous American, European, and African. First, there is the foundational layer, the indigenous ancestry. This is the genetic legacy of the great civilizations that thrived in Mesoamerica for thousands of years. The Aztecs, the Mayans, the Zapotecs, the Olmecs, and countless others. Before any European ships reached the shores of the Americas, Mexico was already a land of immense human diversity. This ancient, rich, and varied genetic heritage forms the bedrock of the Mexican genome. Next came the European component. Beginning with the Spanish conquest in the early 16th century, a new genetic stream began to flow into the region. So this ancestry is primarily from the Iberian Peninsula, which is, modern-day Spain and Portugal. For centuries, this was seen as a simple story of two worlds colliding. But there was always a crucial and often overlooked third player. This is the African root. During the 16th and 17th centuries, hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans were forcibly brought to Mexico. In fact, for parts of the colonial period, the African population in Mexico actually outnumbered the European one. Though their presence has often been minimized in official histories, their genetic contribution is undeniable and is woven into the DNA of millions of Mexicans today, a vital part of the nation's identity. One of the most fascinating discoveries from genetic studies is how this admixture is not uniform across the country. The genetic landscape of Mexico mirrors its geography. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Human Genetics found a clear pattern. In the north and west of Mexico, European ancestry is much more dominant, in some areas accounting for as much as 95% of the paternal lineage. As you travel south and east, the balance shifts dramatically. In the central and southeastern regions, the heartlands of ancient civilizations, Native American ancestry becomes much more prominent, reaching up to 50% or more. The African component, while smaller overall, averaging around 4 to 5%, is present throughout the country, a quiet but constant reminder of this crucial part of Mexico's history. But the story gets even more specific. The 2014 Stanford study found that the type of Native American ancestry a mestizo person has is often linked to the indigenous groups that historically lived in their region. So a person from the Yucatan Peninsula is likely to have a genetic signature that connects them to the ancient Mayans, while someone from the Central Valley may carry the legacy of the Nahuatl peoples. Even after 500 years of mixing and migration, these ancient regional distinctions have not been erased. They are still visible, written in the DNA of modern Mexicans. Perhaps the most poignant part of this genetic story is what it reveals about the social dynamics of the colonial era. When scientists analyzed the Y chromosome, which is passed down from father to son, and mitochondrial DNA, passed down from mother to child, a stark pattern emerged. The vast majority of paternal lineages in mestizo Mexicans are of European origin. In contrast, the overwhelming majority of maternal lineages are of indigenous American origin. This provides clear biological evidence for what historians have long known from written records. The process of mestizaje was overwhelmingly driven by European men having children with indigenous women. It's a powerful and at times painful reflection of the power dynamics of the conquest and colonial period, a story of gender and social hierarchy etched directly into the genome. This incredible genetic diversity is more than just a fascinating historical record. It has real-world consequences for health and medicine today. For decades, medical research has relied on broad, often inaccurate, ethnic categories. But as the Stanford study powerfully demonstrated, treating Mexicans or Latinos as a single genetic group can be misleading and even dangerous. So, they found that variations in a person's specific type of Native American ancestry can, significantly affect biomedical traits, such as lung function. For example, the predicted normal lung capacity for a person from Sonora in the north can differ by over 7% from someone in the Yucatan in the south, based solely on their different indigenous genetic backgrounds. This, honestly, has huge implications for diagnosing and treating diseases like asthma. A value that might be perfectly healthy for one person could actually be a sign of disease in another. Understanding this fine-scale diversity is really a critical step towards a more personalized and effective form of medicine, one that recognizes that our unique ancestral histories truly matter. So, what is Mexican DNA? Well, it's a story of resilience. It's the story of ancient peoples who built empires and whose genetic legacy, still endures today. It's the story of a dramatic and honestly often violent collision of worlds, but also of the creation of something entirely new. It is a living testament to the fact that, really, identity is never simple. It is layered, complex, and honestly, endlessly fascinating. If you or someone you know has Mexican DNA, you might want to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. The mystery of Mexican DNA isn't, a mystery to be solved, but really a story to be told. It's a story that reminds us that beneath the surface of broad labels and easy categorizations, there lies a world of diversity, a rich and beautiful mosaic, truly unique in the world. The story of Mexico is in fact the story of humanity itself, a story of migration, of mixing, and of the incredible enduring power of our shared genetic heritage.